think this is becoming a bit of an addiction. This is the third morning I've gone and spent at that little coffee shop around the corner from where we're staying. I think it's called Rocanini Coffee Roasters. And it's really good. They do a pour over, it's just really good. Cool spot to sit and relax and do some work. So I'm heading back up to the condo now. Hopefully Nicole's up and she's ready to get moving. It looks like it's going to be a beautiful day today, and we have some fun plans. So got to get her moving because she is probably still sleeping. It is now, I think, just 9:30, and I've been down there since 8. They opened at 8 today. So up I go. I don't know if the camera picked that up. Hopefully it did, because it always seems to pick up every sound I don't want it to when we're out filming. But we're basically right beside the BC place, which is their huge stadium that they have here. And we can hear music coming from there, and we're guessing that it's U2, because U2 is actually starting a new tour, and their first stop is Vancouver, and it's next weekend, the 12th. So maybe they're in there setting up and practicing and getting warmed up for their tour, which is pretty cool. And we actually checked to see if tickets were reasonable, but they weren't really that reasonable at this point since it's so close, I guess. But maybe we'll get to see something over there before we head out. And yeah, surprise, surprise, Nicole was sleeping when I got back up to the condo, but I think she's ready now. It's almost 10, and we're gonna head out and make our way to Granville Island. Go check that out. We've heard it's like a foodie Mecca. We're going to have lunch there and get some groceries and whatnot. Are you ready to go?
Yes! Granville Island, here we come! I heard there's cheese there. Our creamery?
There's all kinds of stuff there.
Okay, we are ready. We have our wallets and we have our appetite.
And we have bags to bring stuff back.
And we have bags.
Alright, let's go. Get back on the grass. I wonder what this is. This is a nice little area.
It is. It's like a little park in front of our condo.
We're just heading to the ferry dock because we're going to take the ferry over to Granville Island. I'm curious to see what's down here, because on the Google map the ferry dock looks like it's in the middle of the water. So I'm not quite sure what that means. But this area here is really nice. All the condos up on the water. You saw a little parkette that Nicole walked through with a fountain. Really beautiful. And the nice sunny day helps with that a lot. Yesterday was pretty dreary. Tomorrow's looking like it's going to be pretty dreary. But, oh yeah, tons of boats were down. It's like a little marina. I found the ferry dock. So I guess all that stuff, just because it's like the marina, just sort of docks out into the water, and Google takes you right out there, which is cool. But we're just trying to figure out where we get our tickets for the ferry. It's not obvious at this point yet. Down the dock doesn't look, I can't see any sort of kiosks, but I guess we'll have to go down there and explore and figure it out.
Our day has started. It's exciting.
Yeah, we made it onto the ferry. Apparently you can pay for your tickets with cash on the ferry or Visa at the dock. Alright, we made it to Granville Island. The ferry was really fun. It's a cute little boat. And it's kind of neat how the ferry captain as I'll call him, kind of sits in an elevated spot that sort of sits up in the middle of the boat. It's, yeah, really neat. Good experience. So we're here at Granville. We're going to check out a bunch of places, get some groceries for the week. We're going to try and find some lunch and yeah, just take it in. We heard a lot of good things about this place. Are you excited?
Yeah, I should note that everybody in Vancouver is so friendly and they're so nice.
Yeah, it's true. It's crazy. The ferry captain was really amazing. So here's one of the ferry boats. This is a bigger one. There's the one we took. But you can see how the captain sort of sits up a little bit higher there in the middle. Let's go find lunch. I'm starving.
Look, we can scavenge our own lunch. Look at those little clams.
That looks gross. Lunch is done. Really enjoyed that. That was Tony's Fish and Oyster Cafe. It was a famous place that I researched on the internet. Because we're looking for some like fish and chips, and they're really well known for fish and chips, and that's what Nicole had. She ordered their lunch special, which came with a cod and chips and a side of their chowder, which they're also quite famous for. And the chowder was amazing. She let me taste it, and I really had to hold back from eating it all on her because it was really good. And her fish was really well cooked, nice and crunchy. Really good choice she made. I opted for something a little bit healthier. I didn't feel like something deep fried or chips. So I went with, they had a trio of fish cooked in a garlic butter sauce. And that was really good. It came with cod, salmon, and halibut. And I'd say the cod was my favorite. It was really juicy and moist, and then followed by the salmon, and last was the halibut. I found the halibut a little bit dry compared to the other two fish. And it came with a side of rice and coleslaw. And you could have had French fries or chips instead of the rice. So yeah, that was a really good find, really good lunch. If you're into fish and chips and you're coming to Granville Island, definitely check out Tony's. It was really reasonable and really good. So we're gonna go walk around Granville a bit more here. A few more places we wanna check out. Also researched a famous donut shop that makes fresh cake donuts. Very traditional apparently. So hopefully we'll find that. And there's a sake distillery here that I wanna go check out. So we're gonna go wander around and see what we find. A coffee pour-over dripper. Going to that coffee shop twice a day is just not going to work for very long, so I have to get an apparatus to make coffee at home. So this is what I'm going to try.
Let's hope it works out.
It will.
Okay.
It's made in Japan.
Oh, that's got to work out.
What are you up to?
We need a map of our country that we live in.
That's true. We don't have a Canada map.
No, we don't. We have a collection from everywhere. Thank you.
Very good. We found these donuts. This was a place I'd seen on the internet. We're trying to hit some of the more famous spots here on Granville Island that I've read about on the internet. Tony's was the first one, and this is the second one to get some of their donuts. So I got a butter crunch, I believe, and Nicole got a chocolate dip. And we're just trying to find a spot to go and enjoy these and tuck in. But it's a really cool setup they have here. So we were just watching them through the window bake some donuts or fry some donuts and then glaze them. So he has this huge vat of oil and he's sitting there frying his donuts, and then he's able to lift the whole thing out with a rack and then moves it over to another spot where it's a glazing station. This is this huge thing, like a bucket basically, that just drenches the donuts in glaze. Unfortunately, when we went to get back in line to pick up a fresh one, the line was just crazy, so we decided we'll just have what we had. We already bought a couple and then came out here and watched him. But I'm gonna go find Nicole. She went to try and find us a spot. Show you the donuts up close. I found Nicole. She got us a good spot on the bench here, and she's gonna tuck into her chocolate dip. Show us what you got.
This is my new best friend that I'm going to eat. They said it was a chocolate glazed donut with a cake batter. I think we should go back to the store, and they have a deal if you buy 6. You get 1 free or something, so we only bought 2, and I think we made a big mistake there. You want to try yours?
Sure.
One more bite first.
I got the butter crunch.
It's like deep fried cake, right?
Yeah, it's really good. The donut is like nice and dense. It's really dense.
Why did we buy only two? How dumb are we?
We were just taste test. And the crunchy bits on the outside give it a really nice texture and you're biting into it. That is so good. I think you're right. We might need to go buy some more.
Let's put the camera down and enjoy this in the privacy.
Okay. Those donuts really hit the spot. Those were amazing.
They didn't go very far though, but they were so yummy.
Yeah, we could do with a few more. Maybe we'll stop by there on the way back as we go in there to get some vegetables and meat and whatnot for dinner tonight. If you're looking for Lee's Donuts, it's in the public market building. So good. We've been walking around Granville Island now for a couple hours. We've had lunch here, had those donuts, which were really good. And I don't think there's enough time in a day to scratch the surface here. Some of the notable places that we've been visiting are there's a lot of artist shops. So we saw some really cool shops where they have like a retail space out in front and then their workshop in the back. Some of the ones that were really neat was there was a guy who's making sort of like wrought iron, like custom wrought iron things like gates and candlestick holders and whatnot. And he had a really cool looking workshop sort of behind his little retail area. We walked into a silk shop and there was the woman there who was making a scarf. So she had this piece of silk really spread out, stretched out really big, and she was painting it, like hand painting it. And then she said that one big piece would become a scarf, which was pretty amazing. So there's a lot of shops like that, like artists who have shops and they do their work and sell their stuff here. And there's a lot of restaurants here, you know, like the big Tony's that we went into, but all kinds of pubs and bars and restaurants. Fresh fish is obviously very popular here. What else is there? Like we're about to go to a sake distillery, which is neat. It's just a little small operation, but they're doing fresh sake here. We'll learn a little bit more about that soon. Yeah, it's a really great place to just come for a stroll, especially on a beautiful day like today. Most of it's outdoors, and you can really enjoy the fresh air and the sunshine. So we're gonna keep walking around here and see what else we find.
How did your Canadian company get started in the sake business?
There was no sake made in Canada, period.
Yeah.
At the time when we started importing. So we've been importing for 17 years, and then about 10 years ago, I kind of thought that, well, maybe to try and see how it goes.
2006 you started?
In 2007. Our challenge actually was, because I had this idea all along, that we're going to grow rice. So we will become a true Canadian sake producer, and that was a challenge.
Yeah.
So it took 3-4 years to find the place where the rice will grow.
Right.
And then, so that we can reasonably master how we can grow rice here. And we felt very comfortable around 2012. In a way, it was a dream come true.
Wow.
But the challenge is now, we have to actually expand our field to get more rice.
Yeah. I'll try these three.
Okay, I'll try this first.
Okay. That's really good.
I'm just going to tilt two. So you have that,
Yes.
and then you will go into this. This is a much more flavorful, much more, it's got a lot of body. And I would classify this as meat sake rather than fish sake. Right here. No, I'm chewing.
Very good. Alright.
So this was your particular request. This is called nigori sake, you know that, right? I mean, you seem to be very familiar with sake.
I went a little bit.
Yeah, right. So the difference between this and probably nigori sake in Japan is that this is not sweet at all.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It has a hint of sweetness and kind of a tropical fruit notes, pineapple, cantaloupe, which is not really a tropical fruit, but it's got a bit of a citrusy note. But it drinks very nicely.
But this is something that
It has a very different feel in the mouth.
Right.
It's also really good.
And our recommendation of this sake base to go with is Thai food, slight curry, not overpowering, pork and chicken would usually go well.
Right. All right, we just finished at the sake distillery. That was amazing. The guy that started it served us actually at the tasting bar, and we got him to give us a whole spiel on each of the sakes that he has and how he got started. They actually grow their own rice, which is amazing, and that's what really where he started first in 2007. And I think he said it took him 4 years before that sort of took hold, and they were able to start making their own sake with their own rice. And it was 2012, I think he said, where they actually felt comfortable enough selling their sake that they were making. So it's just a little shop there that they have. But they've been doing it for quite a while now, and the sake was really good. He let us film him giving us the breakdown of all that, and I hope it came out. I'm not sure if his voice carried enough to the camera, unfortunately, but we'll find out. But yeah, it was really good of him to explain all that to us on camera, and he actually knows the person who started the sake distillery in Toronto. There's a sake distillery in the distillery district, and we had planned to go check that out at some point soon. And when we do, we'll film that as well, and hopefully we'll meet his friend Ken at that distillery. So that was a really good stop into that sake distillery. Please come and check him out if you ever come to Vancouver and pick up some of his sake. It was really, really good. It rivaled some of the stuff we've had in Japan at various distilleries we visited in the past. And now Nicole has just wandered off. That's why I'm looking around. I'm not sure where she went. So I'm going to go find her, and we're going to continue touring around Granville here.
Healthy. The healthy one was actually yummier.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting.
It is.
Yeah.
You don't like pineapple or mint, though.
That's true.
This one is tangy carrot. So it has carrot, apple, lemon, and turmeric in it.
The kale is still winning.
Wow.
Amazing.
Oh.
So what was the winner of the taste test?
Definitely not vegetable juice. I went with the nut juice. It's made with almonds, and she said that it's not like the almond milk in the store. It's like, I think 25% almonds and spring water, and there's tamarind in it.
Turmeric.
Turmeric. It's supposed to age us backwards. We bought a lot of produce for 2 people. A lot.
Should that cost?
25 bucks.
That's not bad.
Yeah, I think so.
It's really good fresh stuff.
I know. These berries are just for me, by the way.
Okay.
I think we have a lot of groceries for 2 people.
Yeah, we had a very successful outing at Granville, didn't we?
We did. That was so much fun.
I want to say we got here around noon, I think. We took the ferry over, as you saw, and I think we got to the island around noon and went straight to Tony's for lunch. And it's now 10 to 6. So we spent a good 6 hours here looking around all the cool shops and at all the amazing food. And we did do a bit of shopping. So mostly we got a lot of groceries for the week, but we did get a few other items. Like I got that coffee filter, and we got some posters. What else did we get?
I think it's just food.
It's mostly food.
Seafood, produce.
Yeah, it's mostly food. So we are now going to go back down to the ferry dock and catch the ferry back over to our ferry dock, Yaletown, and go up and start making some dinner. We got some really good ingredients, and that should be fun. And I am pretty exhausted. So I got to get to bed early tonight because tomorrow remote work really starts in earnest. Ferry just dropped us off back at the Yaletown Pier, and it's beautiful down here. Just loving Vancouver. There's 2 ferry companies. There's the one we were taking, which is False Creek Ferries, and there's also Aquabus. And False Creek is the name of this waterway that the ferry travels from the West End over near Science World, which is the big kind of domey looking thing, all the way out past Granville Island. It goes around the bend to the Maritime Museum. It is really cool. I love taking the water taxi or water ferry. It's really neat. And down here in the harbor, there are some massive boats. Like, look at this thing. That thing is humongous. The buoys are bigger than Nicole. I think we could stash Nicole in one of those buoys and you could go, like, it's a stowaway.
That's not how I want to travel.
That's a massive boat though, eh?
Very big.
All right, let's haul these groceries back home. This is a really beautiful spot, eh?
Yeah, these trees, let's transplant them back to our street.
Yeah. They're not cherry blossoms, but I wonder what kind of blossoms they are. They're very similar to cherry blossoms. And if this is the spot we could see from our balcony, they've already lost a lot of the petals since we got here. It seemed a lot lusher from up top than it did like on Thursday or Friday than it did today. I pointed this out on Friday. We should go down there and walk through there. And then I looked at it today and it was not quite as lush, I guess, as flowery.
Well, I see the petals.
Well,
they're right over here.
Yeah,
There you go. There's your last petals.
they don't look as nice on the floor as they did on the trees.
We've made it home, we've used our facilities, and we've unpacked our haul.
We got a lot of stuff. We thought we'd show you a few of the key things that we picked up. But here, check out the haul. So we got quite a bit of fish, I guess. We got some sockeye fish, sockeye salmon for tonight, and some snapper for tomorrow. And we also got some maple candy salmon.
I've had this before. I think it's not spectacular, but every time people talk about Vancouver, they say you have to have the candy salmon, and it's fantastic. So
I don't know if it's your kind of thing.
yeah, well, us being, we were in sheep mode, so we figured, okay, we went for it.
What else we got here? We got
Ooh, the fancy
pâtés. You got some pâtés.
Yes.
You made the poor lady try and get you 50 grams, and she had to like cut it almost paper thin, and she was not super amused. I mean, she did her best.
They had, I don't know, I think they probably had 10 different samples, 10 different pâtés to choose from, and they all looked really good. So I wanted to try as many as I could. So I ended up with 3, and the last one that she cut, I think she gave up, and she just said that I'm not charging you for this, but this is it, pretty much.
Well, she got good slices out of the first 2, and the last one she kind of slipped.
Yes.
So that's why she gave it to you.
Yeah.
So we got some chicken thighs. And what else? This is from the juice place. This was the almond milk. And you got some lox for a bagel.
Yeah, I got a fresh bagel, fresh sesame bagel. Ooh, look how big it is.
Yeah, that was a cool shop. They had you could see the fire in the back where they baked them, and they had one of those like big trays where they just dumped all their fresh bagels, and you got one out of the tray.
Yeah, I think obviously sesame must have been the most popular because there's many trays of bagels, but for the sesame, it wasn't even a tray. It was just like a
You mean
giant...
out in the front case?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But for the sesame, they just had like a giant pile, and she just grabbed one from the pile in the back and threw it into a bag. These look amazing. Look how big these are.
Yeah, strawberries.
They're not from Vancouver, they're from California, but she said that these were a higher grade and larger ones than what you usually find. And I saw people were snapping them up like crazy, so we did the same.
And there was a pickle vendor there, Kaylin and Hobbs Pickles, and they had a bunch of samples. They had some really interesting flavors like horseradish, jalapeno, mustard.
I am not a pickle fan at all, but I tried their jalapeno pickle and it was not terrible.
Yeah, it was good. So I just went with the kosher dill. Couple other things here. Got some beef bones, some marrow bones, and there's the coffee dripper, the Hario coffee dripper, and I got some ground coffee for that, and some really nice little potatoes.
Look how mini they are. Look at that. So cute. Look at that. So those we can roast in maybe garlic and butter. And I don't know what else.
That's about it. So let's put this away and get dinner made.
Okay.
Dinner's almost ready. Nicole's actually digging in because she likes her salmon a little bit more rare than I do, so I pulled hers off the heat first, and she's going to try it before it gets cold. So I just pan fried it with a little bit of olive oil and then dropped in some butter and garlic and let that melt up and make a bit of a sauce. And so here's Nicole.
If there was ever a time that I wish smell-o-vision existed, it's now, because this condo smells so good, so buttery and delicious. Wow. Maybe we should move to Vancouver, Michael, because not only does it taste delicious, so it's like vibrant in my mouth. The texture is just nice and firm. It's flaky. It's juicy.
You're
awesome.
happy?
I'm happy. What a perfect piece of fish.
I'm starving now.
Go on, then.
And there's mine ready to go. I just made a little coleslaw to go with it. Some red cabbage, onion, and carrot. Put a little bit of mayo in. And these are the pickles from the market today. I'm gonna go join Nicole over on the couch. Yeah, it is really good. I do cook mine a little bit. It's still quite soft and pink in there, but not quite like yours. Yours is basically like a grilled sashimi almost. But yeah, it's really good. I'm glad we decided on the sockeye.
Yeah.
And it's so good, it doesn't need a complicated preparation. Very simple, and just let the flavor of the salmon shine. I'll try some of this pickle.
Come on, could it be as good as Bix?
It's so much better. It's got really good crunch. Like the outside's really crunchy, but the inside's nice and soft. Usually, I don't know. I don't eat a ton of pickles, but when I get a jar thing from the grocery store, it doesn't have that same snap usually. And the dill flavor, the dill garlic is really good. think we're just going to finish up dinner here and get to bed. I've got a long day tomorrow of meetings, so I need to get a good sleep. So we will see you tomorrow.